Welcome everyone to another episode of GW Recap. It was Cardo Deli. Thank you for joining me. Thanks for joining me once again. George Washington, last home game of the season, senior night. They sent the seniors off properly as they defeated St Bonaventure 86-75 to end their 12-game losing streak. Um, a streak that was very tough to watch, and I'm pretty, I'm pretty sure on their end, the players and the coaching staff far tougher to endure. But before we get started, check in with our sponsors over at Oohs and Ahs. Bring your soul food to the office. Skip the dreaded potluck with the raisins and the potato salad, or worse, Kraft mac and cheese. Elevate your workday with their delicious soul food catering. Choose between pickup or doorstep delivery. Explore their catering menu on their website. For those of you who may not know their website, it's Oohs and Ahs, simply oohsandahs.com. Or you can take a trip to the restaurants for the flagship spot. To get it, it's a carry-out only, 1005 U Street, Northwest Washington, D.C., 2001. Or if you want to dine in, or also pick up, check them out at 5933 Georgia Avenue, Washington, D.C., 211. The best soul food spot in the DMV, period. I always say that. I'm not just saying that because they sponsors. They're that. If you haven't been, make sure you go over there. Tell them I sent you, and you'll thank me later. Pretty sure of that. Back to GW. Hell of a win. Much needed win. Just definitely understatement to say that, but you want to send the seniors off right, obviously. Antoine Smith Jr., Babatunde Agbola, the anchor in the middle defensively. And obviously James Bishop, the fourth, safe to say, one of the best players to ever put on a George Washington uniform. You want to send them off with a win, man. It was a hell of a free fall, lately. The 12-game winning streak to pretty much take them not just out of the top half, but just put them at the bottom of the A10 in the conference standings. But they managed to battle tonight and get a win for their seniors, man. Things started off in the second half. In the first half, where it looked like things were trending towards a possible 13th straight loss. St Bonaventure came out blazing high, man, shooting the ball, especially from deep. Moses Flowers, he came out. He had like 3 threes in a row to really, kind of give them a cushion early. As far as a lead, Daryl Banks III, he came off the bench. He scored 9 points. Asa, I hope I don't butcher his name, Asa Asamus, he added 9 points and 4 rebounds as well. Just shooting the ball, man, making timely shots. And when they were hitting threes, when Flowers and Banks III were hitting threes, Asamus, he did his thing inside, 4 for 7 and, grabbed 4 rebounds. The thing is, James Bishop was on one from the beginning. You could tell he was highly motivated. He did not want to play his last game in the Smith Center and end it with a loss. You could tell he was locked in, and he was playing with joy, man. That's something you haven't seen consistently doing there. Obviously, the losing streak, it's been tough to watch, but he played with joy. But he played, he was on a mission clearly. GW for the most part, were fairly efficient, but James Bishop had it going, in the first half. 14 points on 5 of 9 shooting from the field, 4-7 from deep. Darren Buchanan was pretty efficient, 8 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 of 4 from the field, 2 of 2 from deep. Max Edwards, 4 points, 2 of 4. So they were able to stay close at the half. They trailed 42-37. Like I said, St. Bonaventure came out blazing from 3, but you knew eventually they have to cool off. You just got to weather the storm, just stay sound defensively. Don't beat yourself with turnovers and missing easy shots. and eventually, you know, everything will even out, and they'll calm down from three, and then you can, you know, kind of, if you're consistent with your execution, you can claw back into the game, and that's exactly what happened in the second half. You know, GW came out, jumped on them right away, 11-4 run, and that gave them the momentum to continue to carry on. You know, look, man, they outscored St Bonaventure in the second half, 49-33, and once again, led by James Bishop. He scored 14 in the first half, scored 13 in the second half, finished the game shooting 8 of 13 from the field, 5 of 9 from deep, 6 of 6 from the free throw line. You know what I mean? Added 6 assists, 3 rebounds. He went out with a bang, and everybody followed his lead. I like what JaCoy Hutchinson brought to the game. You know, he had some timely threes as well. 13 points, 7 assists, 3 of 3 from the free throw line, 2 of 3 from the three, 4 of 6 from the field. Darren Buchanan, 14 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, but 5 of 9 from the field. I know his rebounding numbers aren't, you know, what we are accustomed seeing, but you know, St. Bonaventure got a lot of trees in there. You know, you know, Chad Benning, Noel Brown, who's a former, you know, GW player, transferred to St. Bonaventure a year or two back. They're big, so he had his work cut out for him. A lot of times he was guarding the center at times. So, but he battled, and he won his fair share of battles throughout the game. Obviously, it was enough to help GW win. Max Edwards, he had some huge threes in the second half, man. It was one long three where it was just like, Jesus, man, like 30 feet, you know, in rhythm. You know, 19 points on 6 of 10 shooting from the field, 3 of 6 from deep, 4 or 5 from the free throw line, man. GW also outscored, which is huge. They also outscored the St. Bonaventure 24-20 in the paint, and their bench, led by Max Edwards, who had 19 points off the bench. You know, they had 25 points, which was huge. And GW outscored them on fast break points, 17-11. This is probably the best rhythm I've seen on GW being. You know, not just, you know, offensively, but even defensively. You know, they held Chad Bennings, who's St. Bonaventure's leading scorer, to 6 points, 5 rebounds. I think he came in averaging 14, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna check that out right now. You know, bear with me, but that's impressive. You know, because their defense has been very up and down as of late, and that's the main reason why they've been on the 12-game losing streak. You know what I mean? Yeah, Chad Benton came in averaging 14.5 points a game, 5 rebounds on 53% shooting from the field. You know, look, they held him to 6. They held him to 6. And he, you know, they attacked him, got him in foul trouble, threw him off his game, and that was huge. That took away the inside presence. Now, Absonville, you know, he finished with 11 points and 6 rebounds. You know, he helped out. You know, he helped out on that side. You know, he's a 6'6" but he's kind of, you know, brolic or whatnot. And, you know, he did say Noel Brown, gave him some good minutes, 8 points, 3 rebounds off the bench. Again, he was in foul trouble as well. That just tells you what the game plan was from GW. Don't shy away from the bigs to tackle. Get them in foul trouble. Get them off the floor. And once you get them off the floor, then it opens everything up. You know what I mean? And obviously, with the way GW was shooting from 3-point range, you know, it helped. You know, look, they shot 53% from 3 in the first half, 50% in the second half, 51% for the game, and shot 58% from the field for the game. I mean, they were just daily efficient. Like I said, they came in and they had that mind made up that they would not be denied, man. And it was extremely great to see, man. James Bishop, I could talk about him all day, man. He's gonna be playing pro somewhere. Just a matter of where, you know what I mean? But you know, he really he really stepped up and just laid, and that's what you expect out of him. You know, you could just see the joy right here, man. When the last time you seen James Bishop not only just dunking the game, but dunk with his offhand? That tells you how much he had to go on tonight, man. It was just, you know, great to watch. And, you know, I got to start with him, man. And that dunk kind of just sealed things, even though it was 3 minutes left. And, you know, St Bonaventure could have made a run. After that, man, with the energy that dunk gave the guys, as you can see them celebrating from the bench to the guys on the floor, there was just no way that, you know, St Bonaventure had a chance after that, man. I like James. I've always liked this game going back to high school at Mount St. Joe's, but to see his growth, you know, he came in just as a scoring threat. Then he emerged as a scoring threat and a playmaker, and I would call him the A10 James Harden. Then he improved getting to the basket. Then he improved as a defender. He just kept rounding out his game as the years went on at GW to where he's damn near complete. And that's why I say he will be playing professionally somewhere, just a matter of where. But, you know, it's the reason why he was close to, you know, being an all-time leading scorer. I'm pretty sure he's up there in assists. Got to check that out soon. He's just been a spectacular player, man. You know, and didn't quit on the team. You know, I didn't see, even during that 12-game winning streak, I didn't see any letdown. He's like, oh man, why I come back, or I should have transferred. You didn't see any of that type of energy. His energy was like, man, we gonna get ourselves out of it. You know, I'm here. You know, I'm here to play, and that's all you can ask for from your senior leader, man. You know, hats off to him. Great career, and you know, finish this thing off with a bang, man. Got one more regular season game on the road, and then you know, the A10 tournaments next week. You know, we have a saying: "Don't leave no bullets in the clip." For what? You know, this end all be all. So, you know, I expect him to, you know, go out. If he goes out, I expect him to end his career on a high note, man, and you know, typical James Bishop fashion. Next up, definitely gotta shout out Max Edwards, man. You know, coming off the bench, could have pouted. You know what I mean? Obviously, he's started most of the season. You know, but he didn't. You know, he elevated his game, and you have to, you know, you just have to respect that. You know what I mean? He came off the bench and he provided good minutes. I know he had 4 points at the half, but to me, he was a big reason why GW blew the game open in the second half. You know, he with his timely shooting and, you know, defense, you know, the rebounding, all of that was essential, man. All of that, man. Without that, they don't win the game. And, you know, like I said, Bishop had it going, but they needed somebody else to step up because of the way just St. Bonaventure was shooting the ball from deep. And, you know what I mean? It just so happened to be him. And, you know, it was great. It was just great for him to have his shot going where people can kind of see the full repertoire of what he brings. He's a dynamic player. And one thing that people don't understand is his shot is going, it opens everything up. He's fairly athletic. He'll go in there, dunk on you. He can carry you from mid range. Shifty ball handler. He keeps defenders he keeps them guessing because of his ability to score from all three levels, how he can break you down and he can pass. Sometimes he get a little too cute and he might try to force a tough pass when the simple one is there. But man, when he just makes the simple play, man, he's fun to watch and tough to stop. And you saw the good Max today, man. When, you know, look, 19.7 rebounds, but only 2 turnovers on 6 of 10 shooting. Can't ask much for more, man. You know what I mean? And he did a good job on Flowers. You know, Flowers had 11 points in the first half. Second half, 15, 4 points. And I know he didn't guard him the whole second half, but as a committee, you know, him mainly, they shut that down. That's why they're able to pull away and keep St. Bonaventure at bay and pull away in the second half to get a much, much, much needed win. And so hats off to Max Edwards, Jim Couch alum. Love seeing him do his thing, all the alums, but definitely enjoy seeing Max do his thing in the last home game of the season. Because, reality is, as James about to move on, to the professional stage, to the professional level, more than likely he's going to be the guy next year. And he's going to have to step up and take over that role that James leaving. So, it's good to see that he's fully capable and talented enough to do it. Just got to be consistent with it. That's the next step for him. And, last but certainly not least, man, Darren Buchanan, he's a redshirt freshman, his first real year just playing heavy minutes for, at the college level, man. And I think he did an outstanding job, battled through a couple, ticky-tack injuries or whatnot, but, he balled this year. Definitely one of the best freshmen in the A10 by far. He's a big reason why GW had that strong start before the slide, started. And he was a big reason why they won the game today. You know what I mean? 14 points and 3 rebounds, like I said, and 2 assists. But the thing I was more impressed with was Caputo trusting him to guard the bigs. When, Akinbola, kind of picked up his third foul, fourth foul, and they was in foul trouble. Caputo didn't hesitate. He put Buchanan on Brown. He put him on Vinny. And he held his own. He didn't allow those guys to go to work on him. And, you know what I mean? And it was, it's great to watch. You see the defense right here, turning the ball over, getting a strip. Antoine Smith, he leaking out. Darren Buchanan doing what he does best, finishing strong. He's a powerful wing, man, and that's the reason why he's been tough to guard. He has the strength and the girth to bang with the bigs like we just saw tonight with St Bonaventure, but he has the quickness and skill to play on the wing as well, and destroy guards. He's a tough matchup, man. I think he's only going to get better from here. Things for him to improve on. I know the season ain't over, but it's headed that way. Things for him to improve on some of his free throw shooting. Get his handle a little bit more shiftier, get more consistent from 3. Once he add those elements, he should be playing for all conference consideration year in, year out. I think he's that talented, man. And they weren't alone. Bishop, Edwards, and Buchanan, they weren't alone. Like I said, I felt Hutchinson gave him good minutes. One thing about Hutchinson, he's always going to bring the defense, always. I know he had his hands full dealing with Darryl Banks III, who was scorching. He was scorching all game. That's the one guy that kind of dang near matched Bishop for St Bonaventure, and especially in the second half, he kept him in it. He had 23 points. 14 came in the second half. He the one that kept him in it. 6 of 11 shooting, 5 of 8 from deep in the game, 6 of 6 from the free throw line. He and 3 steals. He was scorching the earth. He was scorching the earth in the game today, man. They struggled to slow him down. Mike Adams-Woods added 10 points and 5 assists, but it was an inefficient 10 points. So I feel like they did a good job, man. Just for me, I just don't look at point total. I look at the efficiency. So I felt like overall GW did a good job as far as making him work, contesting, making him take tough shots. If it take you 10 shots to get 10 points, job well done defensively, man. Obviously, I talked about earlier, them holding Benning, St. Bonaventure's leading scorer, to 6 points when he came in averaging 14 and a half. When you look at the efficiency, you might say, well, GW's defense wasn't up to par. St. Bonaventure shot 48% from the field, 45% from deep, 83% from the line. But when they needed to get stops, they did. And they held them off for spurts in the second half where St. Bonaventure couldn't even get a shot off. They was getting turned over. Like as you saw in the highlights, some of those dunks and stuff were the last off a turnover, but it was off of consecutive turnovers. You know what I mean? Um, you got to tip your hat to GW. They got in the passing lanes. They dug down hard. They dug down strong. Got their hands on the ball when the bigs tried to make a move. They were off to the races, man. So, you know, for this team, it's always been about the defense. They can score with the best on them. Keep in mind, they don't have one of their starters, Garrett Johnson, you know, who's one of their top players, who's out with injury. So, you know, kudos to George Washington, man. They really, you know, stepped it up and, you know, willed themselves to a win, man. So, with that being said, man, GW, one more game. They take on Duquesne this Saturday at 2 p.m. on the road. Then it's A-10 tournament time, man, where anything can happen. Obviously, at the top of the A-10, you got your Loyola Chicago's, you got your Dayton's, and you got your Richmonds, and then you got everybody else kind of fall in line after that, man. So GW have to see one of those teams, one of those three teams right away. They have nothing to lose. You know what I mean? No one is expecting them to win. Come in and compete, play loose, play free, have fun, but be on a mission. Try to shock the world. You'd be surprised what can happen when you do that. And we've seen teams year in, year out in conference play, teams you don't expect much from. One comes to mind is Georgetown a few years back, one of the worst teams in the Big East. They go on a run, they get hot, and win the Big East tournament, get to the NCAA tournament. So it's definitely possible. They have the talent to, if Bishop does what he should do, and Max and Darren Buchanan, to check to see if Garrett Johnson's going to return. But if those three are on that game and everybody else just maximize their role, they could be a threat in the A-10 tournament. You know what I mean? But it's up to them. But for them, it definitely has to start on the defense. Man, you're not going to outscore anybody. That's been proven. So we're going to see what happens, man. But thank you all for joining me. Last GW recap of the regular season. I won't say of the season. Obviously, whatever happens with GW, I'll be back on here to kind of summarize the season, see where they need to go, talk about incoming recruits, and kind of do an early preview. You know, we'll do a blend of a recap of the 23-24 season, you know, early preview of the 24-25 season, man. So thank you for, you know, following me all season as I, you know, provide George Washington basketball coverage. And I'll see you guys soon.